大家好，我是村长。我们今天来做一下这个中翻英的同声练习啊，也不是今天的，我是每天都会做一个。不过今天这个素材是有点特别啊，以前我是在网上下的，今天是他们 TED 的朋友，因为他是让我帮忙帮他们翻译这个英文字幕，就是让我帮他们翻译吧，所以他就是先把内部的这个素材拿给我，所以他这个声音啊还没有调。你们他听的可能不是很清晰，就是调这个中文可能不是很清晰。那么我心想，我他妈要翻译，我不是自己先来玩一下嘛？我先口头翻译一下，待会儿我再给他笔译一下，对吧？所以这个就是我先玩一遍啊，就是一个练习视频，我们直接来吧啊。这个还是一个内部资料，还没公开的啊。Hello everyone. I'm an architect. My name is v Na. I don't know whether you guys ever thought about what's the relationship between human and architecture. And most of us, like 90% of our lives, we stay in the buildings. But I don't know whether you realize that the buildings are influence our emotions every day. Some buildings makes us anxious, makes us indifferent. Some buildings can touching us, can make us be touched. Actually, the buildings, like design a building, is like education a person. In addition to a healthy body, we need to give them like a beautiful minds or souls. But what does the good building looks like? If the common buildings is like enclosed space, people inside the building is in a passive position. But a touching building is a suffused space with blurred boundaries, because the important thing is the interaction between the people and the building. And this condition means we're led by artistic, we're supported by emotions. This suffused space is beyond the material form. It blurs the building's boundary. So this is a scenario organized by people and the material. I mean, in the traditional Chinese aesthetic, the artistic conception is very important. In 2009, we made this project for the Shandong Rizhao. They want to build a museum. When I first went there, the owner told us, like, this is the construction site, it's an empty space. But when I sit there, but when I stand in there, I feel the sunshine and the sea breeze. I was thinking, this is not empty space. It's full of sunshine and wind. Actually, we humans were born with the intuitive with those natural. And it's beyond, actually that's beyond our five senses. But we have this kind of inertial. If we're staying in this environment, we become insensitive. We need the changing in the environment to make us feel the environment. For example, like the sunshine and the air is everywhere, and then we forget the air and the sunshine. But when the shadow appears, we can feel the sunshine. So in this project, I want to carve the sunshine to build the building. So I designed this spiral. They have three rings, the different circuits. The outermost is a balcony which have the hollowed fences. In the middle is an enclosed space by the glass, and the innermost is the core function area. So the outermost, as the sun rises, they can cast the constantly changing shadow on the square. Actually, most buildings are fixed, but we want to create the interaction between people and building. If we want to achieve this, then the boundaries of building is not just the physical materials. It should be the people's feeling of the constantly changing environment. For example, we're like in this closed space. When we enter this space, there are various actions. We go to the door, we cross the door. So in this process, I want to turn this fragmentary actions into a series of experience. So when outside, when you approach the balcony, when you're approaching the building, the first you can saw this shadow. Actually, you're still outside the building, but you already feel the building. And then when you walk across those shadows, you feel more about the building. And when you get into this building, right now you're inside the building, but you still can feel the sunshine and the sea breeze. Then you across the glass wall, the sunshine is still there, but wind is not there. Then you get into the innermost, the core area. Now, there's no sunshine and wind. It's totally a man-made area. So, this kind of experience, you can feel the building. You can feel the building step by step. And also you can feel the nature and yourself. Actually, humans are part of the nature. In the past, in the process of conquering and evolve, people isolated ourselves from the nature. But this isolation brought us mental and physical problems. Buildings is not a tool to isolate the humans and nature, but actually a good building can give us better ways, more ways to feel the nature. If we want to build, but how to achieve this? The design of building is not, we should not focus on the building itself. We need to understand the big environment to think about what kind of interactions the future users can have with the building. This house looks very old, but actually it's just finished recently. The original house looks like this. It's in the village, just beside a creek. It's a very old two-story house. When I came here, the moment I stepped into this village, I was touched. And this quiet, quiet mountain, I can hear the water. I can hear the land. I saw many old buildings. They have all different kinds of lives on the wall. So at that moment, I feel the nature's inclusive and energetic. You can imagine their ancestors came into this valley. They want to be protected by the environment, and after generations, they integrated into this building. So I want our building will respect and praise this harmony between the human and nature. And in pursuit of this touching feeling, so I want our building just like a tree. Like every moment of its growing is unique. It's part of this environment. So we use the traditional tenant structure, joint structure, and most of the materials was recycled from this old building and built by the local workers and villagers. Those recycled doors and windows, they used to be part of some old houses, old buildings, but now they came into this new building with memories and get new life. So like every detail, since they have the human feeling, after the house is built, many people said this house is telling a story which belongs only here. So I named it 小西式. I want this building to give people the feeling of home. Actually, the final product of a building is like a scenario. Without the architect, the building becomes a media. The building can represent the architect to express the emotions. This is a hot spring farmhouse in suburban area of Beijing. The owner wanted us to upgrade it to a hotel. It's just besides a highway, and they're neighboring to a pigsty and glass factories. When I stood there, in this noisy and chaotic environment, how can I make the hotel can provide the mental and body rest for the customers? So I imagine this kind of wonderland, surrounded by bamboos and have some small paths. The hot spring, the hot air from this hot spring interact with the snow falling from the sky, and some small houses scattered in this bamboos. When I designed this, I used the waste. I used the waste to make movies. We designed those paths which will change your emotions. So we planned those scenarios. While after the hotel is finished, because of different customers came here, this hotel will be different. When we finished the building, we have the first snow in Beijing that year. So when you walk inside this building, you can find your own moment. You can find your own space, and all these different spaces or these different moments is not designed by us. This is just the traditional Chinese garden can give you. Like the human, the building, and the scenes, they just interact with each other. I traveled to Jiangnan. I visited many gardens there. So this experience provided us a lot of experience. I was shocked. I decided to become architect after that trip. But gardens and these traditional gardens, they influenced my designing career for a long time. Many people saw this. This looks futuristic. It looks like a maze. but actually I use the same principle as the traditional Chinese garden. This building is very small warehouse. The ceiling height is no more than 3 meters. As a shop, if you can make the customers stay in the shop longer, this is very important. So I want to change the space. I can turn this small open area to a space which you need to travel slowly, to experience slowly. So we focus on the customers in this design. We designed different various spaces, so spaces which customers can feel and express themselves. And these very close interactions between the people and the space, we want to build the emotional connection between customers and the shop. Actually, build the emotional connection between human and the shop is not you design some specific forms, but a series of experiences. So the designing process is actually build experience in the time and space. In the search for how to build the suffused space, I was confused many times. After many reflections, I realized if we want to build a touching building, that means the architect, you need to deliberately to use the perception thinking. In my teaching and practice experiences, I come up with this system. I call it the emotive design. So we have intuition and landscape first. We use the scenario thinking, and in the time and space, we create the experience. Design a building is a very complicated process, from the ancient caves to our concrete buildings. People are trying to break the technology barriers. In the past, building the emotional connections between human and building was limited by technologies. But in the future, because we have some intelligent, we have better technology, we have virtual space, so we can do more. A building is not only a simple, it's not only a simple physical building. Actually, it's the experience, right? In this like age of anxiety, we need to come back to the original purpose of building. The building can provide us some emotional needs. Thousands of years ago, in the 100 schools, like in the spring and wartime, Lao Tzu said, "The great image has no form." So we always focused on the whole perception, but not the building should be. We should get the meaning, but forget the form. So we want to build the emotional connection between people and human, because building and humans, they have the closest and direct relationship. Thank you. 我发现啊，那么现在这些演讲的人啊，讲话这么绕来绕去的啊，净整这些不是那么很生活化的话。其实这个很难做，很难做这种同声的传译。 虽然这个人语速很慢啊，但他讲话还是有点绕啊。反正这个无所谓了，只是一个练习啊，磕磕绊绊的，磕磕绊绊就磕磕绊绊吧。然后待会儿因为我还得给他就是看一下他的这个笔译吧，那么就待会儿再说吧。好，这个就先这样。